Welcome back. It's been a bit since we've... Oh, those bugs are brutal. There's 1,000 on my hand just to take this little bit of footage. So we're walking in at night on a weeknight. I don't have to go into work tomorrow. Jeez. I got 2 bags on, camping gear. I want to set up the laser tonight. So I don't know how much footage I'll get because it'll all be dark. And just get my pins in for my string lines drilled in the rock nice and square, and then we're gonna press on tomorrow. We'll touch back in then because I gotta get that glove back on that hand. These bugs are insane. There's some bugs. Doesn't take long for them to get in my hand. I'm putting a glove on. All right, that's what time it is. We don't have much time. We gotta set up camp. I might have to utilize the tractor for some lights. Here, I got 2 headlamps, and I'm gonna fire up the Jenny. Get that yard light going. I don't know where I'm gonna put the tent. Where I was gonna put the cabin down there is a good spot for it, but I don't want to be going up and down this cliff edge in the dark and stuff, so I might go over to where I'm building the shed. It's flat enough there. So we're gonna peel back that tarp. Trenches are dry. We're just gonna fold that tarp up. The forecast looks good for the week. It can dry them out that last little bit. All right, let me get unpacked here. Well, we moved the table out of the way and set up my old 3-person tent. So it's bedding's all ready to go, so we'll get to work here. First thing we did was fire up the generator and get a headlamp on. But there's that yard light. I wired it up. And it lights up the whole work area beautifully. So we're gonna get this tarp out of the way, get some tools out. We're gonna work, and then at some point I'll probably have to shut off the yard light to see the laser a little better. So we got the laser up and going. It's pretty visible even with the yard light on. So I'll have to measure how high this is here, and it's right flush with grade back there. That's the first time I've had anything level on it to see how much this slopes. So we'll plan that out, and it just happened to be where I placed the tripod, but it's pretty good with the trench. So my string lines are going to be set outboard of where the piers are going to go, so I can just measure in from the string line to each pier instead of deflecting my string. You'll see how that works out later on, but yeah, we're gonna try to drill some holes where my laser lines are going to be, so that I don't have to rely on the laser in the daylight. I can just tie a string line to the pins that I'm going to drill in here just now. I got to do a little bit of shoveling right here, get rid of all this fill, and maybe a little bit more shoveling in the back, but we'll try to get 4 holes in for my 4 corners. Laser show. Pretty neat. So I got a reference line. So there's a stake over there that I can tie to. So this whole side's referenced, and then I got a pin there and there, just threaded rod, and across there to that peg over there. So I just have the 2 reference lines. I just don't want strings across here and here, so I can run the tractor and stuff. I'll just pull off these lines here. But we just finished with the 3/8 bit and the hammer drill, bucket of water for cooling. But I'm gonna pack up the tools and get to bed because it is 10:46. I should stay up a little later because tomorrow night I gotta work till 2 a.m. Be up till 3. lights right up with the yard light. That'll be mint for in the fall when days start getting shorter. I can still keep pushing on, building away. I'm glad I got this shed now. We're up here on a Monday trying to finish this, and it just started pouring on us. We got almost 10 piers done and a lot of holes drilled, but it is steaming. We made it back in to this mess. So that one's got to be taken out. It tipped over. That one's not in good shape. We have to pump out all this water before we can get going. But we brought the Honda instead of just relying on that little submersible. So we're gonna get these pumped out to start. Get some measurements. Check on all these other piers. Welcome back. It's July 7th, Friday night. Coming in for another overnighter. Since you last saw me, I'm a year older. Turned 30 last Saturday. But just to give you a little context of the last couple weeks, because the footage hasn't been good, or my commentary. I had June 26th off, which was a Monday, I believe, and June 29th, a Thursday last week. My uncle and I were working on the piers. The reason I didn't have back-to-back days is I try to work around the 14-day forecast, because I have to give work 5 business days notice when I want to book a vacation day, and then also working with my uncle's schedule and my schedule for festivities and stuff on the weekends. So there was a chance of rain on the Monday, and we got it. We made wicked progress. I think we had 7 piers set and the holes dug for another 2. And my plan was to get all the piers set, throw the laser up at the end of the day when the sun was down a little bit, and then I could cut them all to the right height and then fill them with cement using the tractor. But we got 6 hours into that Monday, and then we got a 45-minute thunder shower that you saw filled the trenches right full, ruined all my sono tubes, so I had to grab a few more of those, a couple extra bags of cement based on how much some of the holes were using. And then we came back on the Thursday and had to pump out the water, as you saw. But I had to completely change tactic because I realized I wasn't going to be able to get all 15 piers set. The laser wasn't going to work for that time of day to get the right height, and I had to get them concrete in them, or else I was going to lose all that work again, because there was more rain in the forecast. So as we were digging holes, we were pouring cement in each one as we went, just so we weren't wasting our efforts. So I had to come up with a new tactic. It's actually my uncle's idea. So we used my 2 perpendicular strings to get my dimensions, my spacing between the piers, and get them square. But then we used the string line off of our first pier that we set at the cliff edge, and just the line level, the bubble clips right onto your chalk line or string line, and simply stretched it out to the next pier we were working on, and just put a mark on the outside of the cardboard. Then I just took a 1.5 inch screw and screwed it through the pier, the sono tube, and that gave me a reference on the inside, because I didn't know how I was going to be able to cut them level with the saw all the way around. And he said, well, my uncle said concrete will self-level just like water. So we just went to that reference screw in every single pier. I think we got 11 of them set, and there's 4 left. But since the ground's dry now, I'm going to use the tractor tonight to backfill the trenches in that around the piers that are done, and then I'll have the cement mixer, because I'm working alone, to do the last 4, which will probably be tomorrow morning, and then we can do final grade once it's set a little, and cut the tops of the excess cardboard off the sono tube, or peel them off. They'll probably just peel off because they definitely saw moisture. And then my original plan was also to wet set the saddles, but based on how it was going, and you only get like 5-6 hours of actual work in here, I decided I got that nice big drill that I'll show you tonight. I haven't had any footage of it, but I'm just gonna drill in the saddles. Afterwards I can concentrate on getting it square and true. So the reason we didn't use the tractor on that Thursday, we were working away and ended up mixing 11 piers with the cement by hand in the whir overall, is because we were sort of just going one at a time, and the trenches were all still there, and the ground was still super saturated from 3 days of rain. That my tractor with turf tires would have just been stuck down in there and not done anything productive, just caused a headache. But then we just kept going and filled in the day, and next thing you know, we had 11 done mixed by hand. So I made such a big deal about getting the tractor and the cement mixer in there, and it's only gonna participate in 4 piers worth of cement, but it'll definitely help with the backfill, because we just dug trenches with the excavator, not individual holes, which our trenches weren't that accurate anyway. Bit of my measuring and bit of Dad's digging, bit of my digging. And we had to do a lot of hand digging last Thursday into the sidewall of the trench, because we were off by 6 inches. And we needed, that was a 30-inch wide trench with 12-inch sono tubes, and we had to dig into the wall of 2 of the trenches another 6 inches. So I didn't have to be that accurate with the excavator, but I really wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, I want to get tractor down there and use it. Hopefully it'll speed things up. So we made it up here. Soil's a little soft still. They got rain this week up here, obviously. We're gonna see how it is with the tractor. So I had that one almost prepped. I got to pump out that little one, but we got the sump pump going in there, and there's even more water in the last trench. But if we can get this half leveled out, I will keep my distance from the piers and shovel around them, but I'll be getting all this stuff with the tractor here shortly, hopefully. And then I can park the tractor right here to do 1, 2, 3, 4 tomorrow. And I'll show you what our process has been to get the rest of these in. But some water saturated sono tubes repaired with tuck tape. But well, this is camp for the night. I've only ever used this hammock tent years ago twice, and it was just in the backyard. I've never used it in the woods, but it's been sitting up here since the last time I camped. I know the bugs will bite through it, so I brought my cheap foam pad, well, inflatable pad. It's about 1.5 inches thick, so it should keep the bugs off me. And then I just have that red sleeping bag liner. I think it's supposed to be 19 Celsius, and a little camp pillow. So hopefully I don't get rained on, and hopefully I can stay out of the bugs, because they have been pretty bad now. So I'm just gonna take the rest of my gear down, and it'll stay in the tool shed, and we'll give you an update of where we're at. I'm probably gonna try to do some more digging by hand now. I'm at my mercy now until I don't want to screw up my critical string lines here. So we got the tractor down there situated for mixing cement. Obviously it's not final grade. I am probably going to have to bring a lot of the stuff that's out there, because I would like my piers to sit up a bit. And I'll fix grade in here and get rid of this bowl. This is all going to settle. Probably that whole strip is just roots and brush and stumps with a little bit of soil on it, so it's probably going to sink quite a bit. But I'd also like to get, if there's some extra soil, this little trail in, get it, especially that hole at the corner. Well, we'll see how much soil's left out. It spreads pretty good if you can pick out the roots and rocks and stuff, but it's not packed either. But grade is actually above the top of that pier. I mean, I still have quite a bit of stuff I gotta fill in. This one's up a little bit, but that's where that one will be. But this string line, if I was gonna carry on and finish grade, that's like, I have to remove soil from in here. But I didn't want the backfilling to screw up my string line to set up my last 4 piers. Oh, I'm gonna burn out that pump. Suck dry. Anyway, we'll get the rest of that water out and do some digging. Well, we're just putting in time while we can, so we busted out the big Bosch rotary hammer drill. It's been working flawless. So all these piers have little pieces of rebar, keep it from twisting and to help hold somewhere on the outside of the cardboard, like over here. If I can see, yeah, because the rock was on a real slope, so I put little smaller diameter ones. I could remove those because they were loose in the holes, and it was just to hold this. But it's got little pins down in the bottom and then one big one I'll have to cut off with the grinder. But it's been going through this rock like butter. I bought 3 bits and the first one's still working mint. So I got this dug all the way down to the rock, that's a 4-foot pier, and I don't know, it's probably 18 inches down in there. But there was so much water running in, so I threw a bag of dry concrete in there. Just mixing it up, hoping it seals the bottom from water coming in. But we'll mix that the rest of the way up, and then because that was a 4-foot piece of rebar, so I drilled into the rock quite a ways. We'll stick another rebar here, loose in the top of that so it can come up higher. And then we'll dig the 3 others out in the morning, and yeah, that yard light's working mint. That drill with the light running, the generator definitely bogs on startup, but it's been working just fine. We already got visitors in the tool shed. Well, good morning. How do I look? I was up every hour, as usual, camping. It's definitely not like home. No bugs. That was good. Got colder than the forecast said when I checked the weather from home. So I dressed down and got in the comfy light stuff, expecting it to be like 22, 24 Celsius. Thinking I was going to be hot. And my watch can tell the temperature there, and it said 15.7 Celsius. So I had to run back down to the tool shed and put on all the clothes that I brought, which wasn't very many. And I was just cold all night because all I had was this. Anyway, we're going to pack up this stuff so it's out of the way and get at this. Get these 4 piers in the backfilling done so I can get back to my mom's birthday party today. So I got that hole cleaned out. It's real hard packed clay there. Water's starting to run in on me. I did have it dry a minute ago, but I'm at my 4-foot height, and that's all I have for sono too. But I pounded rebar in the center, and it's only like an inch to the rock. So I'm gonna leave that nice flat packed bottom. Hole is filled in with water over here. Because the water keeps running in the bottoms, I've had to tamp it, then I'll get that rebar in there and set it up, and then I just backfill against it a little bit, and if water keeps running up, I throw a dry bag of cement in the bottom, mixing it as I pour, get it to the right consistency, and then just backfill a little bit more, and then once I have the last one set, I'll be mixing in the cement mixer and dumping in with the pail, get them filled right up. So the sun's just poking through the trees right now. It's not over them. 8:30. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 set. This one's just high enough. I didn't really like how that went, but I did get that rock out of this guy and it set. So this was the first post that we poured here. So I just put a loop and a string around the center rebar, and then with the jigsaw I cut right down to the concrete tight so that I could just pull this along. I need my level. Pull this along. Pull it tight. Make a mark. So that's that. And I just grab a little screw, go to my line. Then I just fill the concrete right up till it goes halfway up the screw, and then it shrinks just a little bit below. And I'm just following the exact same technique I used on the other one, so the heights stay the same. And then I just peel off the cardboard after. Okay, now I'm gonna haul over a bunch of bags of cement, so it's a little more fluent at the mixer, and when I get things wet and going, I can just pour. Well, here goes nothing. I've ever told you I've never done anything like this before. Probably shows. So I got 18 bags stashed out here. The plan is to dispense them into the Home Depot buckets. I have the galvanized buckets getting water from up there. And yeah, we're going to try to get these 4 filled up to those screws that I put in them and trowel the tops out. And then I'll stay away from these freshly set ones, but then I'm going to get back to backfilling with the tractor before I take off. So let's see how this goes. I'll put a little bit of water in already. This bag is broken, so I just set it right in the Okay. Start the tractor. That's better than a shovel. Room for improvement. So we use the tractor to backfill around the 11 piers, well 9 really, that we had set the day before. The ground was way too soft around the fresh trenches, so we just used, we were just going to leave it, let the ground tighten up before we'd get the tractor stuck or knock over one of our piers with the tractor. But I'll be back another day and we'll get the backfill in all done once the ground's set up and dried up a little bit. What is it, July 19th? And the goal was to backfill the job site here and get the tractor out of here. So half the day is going to be getting the tractor out of here, loaded up. And there's where I parked, there's a little bit of work I want to do with the tractor. But I didn't get it all graded nice and smooth today. There was still water in the trenches, and as I kept filling in the trenches, the water would rise and it wasn't compacted, and there's a bit of clay. So I ended up getting the tractor stuck a couple times and got into my piers on accident a few times. It was a little tricky stick handling around these 15 piers using the rear brakes to steer and stuff like that, but my front end kept sinking if I had a load of dirt in the bucket, and it was causing me more grief than good. So I decided, while I was ahead, I'd quit. So the rest is gonna have to get done with the shovel, rake, and wheelbarrow, but that'll be for next time. It should dry up nice and spread a little nicer. But yeah, anyway, we're making progress. We're gonna get out of here because I still have quite the adventure. About 5.5 kilometers solo. I have my come along, some chains, some straps, and hopefully we can get out of here. There's 3 spots I'm really worried about with the tractor, but we've had 4 days decent weather with very little precipitation, so it's the driest it's been in a while. Anyway, wish me luck, and we'll see you next time.